Most people notice spiders only in two moments, when one appears unexpectedly, or when a web catches the morning light. But if we zoom out, spiders are not rare intruders. They are one of the most successful groups of predators on land, present on every continent except Antarctica, and established in almost every terrestrial habitat where insects exist. Taxonomists have recorded more than 53,000 species, and that number keeps changing as new species are discovered and classifications are revised. In other words, the spider you notice in your bathroom is not an exception. It is one tiny visible piece of an enormous, globally distributed lineage that has been refining survival strategies for hundreds of millions of years. Spiders belong to the order Araneae, within the arachnids, and their success comes from a powerful combination: venom, silk, sensory precision, and flexible hunting behavior. They are not just web builders. Some run down prey, some ambush, some imitate other creatures, and some use highly specialized tools made from their own silk. If insects dominate by numbers and mobility, spiders dominate by control, intercepting prey flows in gardens, forests, fields, and homes. To understand why they matter, we need to treat spiders less as symbols of fear and more as ecosystem engineers operating mostly out of sight. Anatomically, spiders are easy to recognize but surprisingly misunderstood. Unlike insects, which have three main body sections and antennae, spiders have two major body regions and no antennae at all. The front section, often called the prosoma, carries the eyes, mouthparts, and legs. The rear section, the episthosoma, contains key internal systems and the silk machinery. A narrow connector called the pedicel links these two regions and allows fine movement between them. This two-part design is compact, stable, and ideal for both rapid movement and precise silk deployment. Spiders also use a striking mechanical trick in their legs. Instead of extending limbs mainly with extensor muscles like many animals do, they rely heavily on hydraulic pressure. Internal fluid pressure helps push the legs outward, while muscles pull them inward. That system contributes to the characteristic way many spiders move, including sudden bursts of speed and controlled repositioning on difficult surfaces. Another advanced feature is neural centralization. In many spiders, nerve centers are strongly fused, creating efficient coordination between sensing, movement, and attack timing. So while spiders may appear simple from the outside, their design is highly optimized for low-latency decision-making. Every structural detail, from fangs to pedicel to spinnerets, serves the same goal: detect prey, control distance, and win fast. Silk is the technology that transformed spiders from capable hunters into evolutionary giants. Spider silk is produced as liquid proteins in abdominal glands, then drawn through spinnerets where it becomes solid fiber. Spiders can produce different silk types with different mechanical properties, and those properties are not random. One thread might prioritize tensile strength, another elasticity, another stickiness, another abrasion resistance for draglines and structural frames. The result is a material toolkit made inside the body and deployed in real time. That matters because silk is not only for webs. Spiders use it for safety lines, egg cases, shelter lining, prey wrapping, courtship signaling, dispersal, and territorial anchoring. In ecological terms, silk gives spiders a way to shape the physical space around them instead of merely reacting to it. A web is not just a trap, it is an external sensory extension that reports motion events through vibration patterns. Even species that rarely build prey capture webs still depend on silk for risk reduction and reproduction. Material scientists are fascinated by spider silk because it combines low weight, high strength, and flexibility in ways many synthetic fibers still struggle to match under comparable conditions. So when we talk about spiders as predators, we should also think of them as living manufacturers, spinning adaptive infrastructure from protein and deploying it with remarkable precision. Web diversity reveals how many different solutions can emerge from the same raw material. The iconic orb web, with radial spokes and spiral capture lines, is only one strategy among many. Orb webs can be highly effective interception systems for flying insects, but tangled cobweb structures are even more abundant across many environments. Different architectures reflect trade-offs: energy cost, prey type, wind exposure, repair frequency, and predator risk. Some webs maximize area with minimal silk. Others prioritize sticky density in key zones. Some are rebuilt daily, while others are maintained and patched. From a systems perspective, each web is an evolved algorithm encoded in behavior, not in blueprints. The spider runs a construction sequence, uses local feedback, and adjusts based on support points and tension. That means the web is both inherited strategy and situational response. Webs also function as communication interfaces. Vibrations can indicate prey size, species, struggle intensity, and even whether the signal comes from potential mates or threats. A well-positioned spider can interpret these patterns and decide whether to rush, retreat, or ignore. This is why web building should not be framed as mindless instinct. It is constrained by biology, yes, but it is also adaptive execution under changing environmental conditions, repeated night after night across landscapes. The spider timeline is deep, and that depth helps explain their modern success. Spider-like arachnids with silk-producing structures appear in the Devonian period, roughly 386 million years ago. Those early forms likely produced silk but lacked fully modern spinnerets. True spiders appear later in Carboniferous rocks, over 300 million years ago, and already show key similarities to some primitive lineages still alive today. By the Triassic, the major modern spider groups had emerged, setting the stage for broad diversification as terrestrial ecosystems expanded and insects radiated into new niches. This chronology matters because it places spiders among long-term survivors of massive planetary change, shifting atmospheres, continental reconfiguration, climate upheavals, and extinction events. Their persistence suggests a body plan and behavioral toolkit with high resilience. Silk flexibility, varied hunting modes, and broad diet opportunities likely buffered them against environmental volatility. Evolution did not produce one perfect spider, it produced thousands of successful variants tailored to microhabitats and prey dynamics. So when we encounter spider diversity now, we are seeing the cumulative output of hundreds of millions of years of iterative testing under natural selection. Each family, each web style, each hunting tactic is a historical solution that lasted because it kept working. Most spiders are predators, and their collective ecological impact is enormous. Estimates suggest spiders consume hundreds of millions of tons of prey annually, mostly insects and other arthropods. That places them among the planet's major biological control forces, quietly reducing populations that might otherwise surge. Hunting methods vary dramatically. Some species rely on sticky capture webs. Others use bolus-like silk lines to snag moths. Ground hunters stalk and sprint. Jumping spiders use acute vision and timing. Some lineages even mimic prey or harmless debris to approach undetected. This diversity of tactics reduces direct competition and allows many spider species to coexist in the same region by targeting different prey, activity windows, and microhabitats. A few larger spiders can take vertebrates like small lizards or birds, but those cases are edge behavior, not the core pattern. The core pattern is relentless arthropod predation distributed across nearly all land ecosystems. Importantly, spiders are not just killing machines, they are selective pressure. Insects evolve escape behaviors, activity timing, and sensory strategies partly in response to spider predation. That means spiders shape not only prey abundance but prey evolution. In ecological networks, they function as decentralized regulators, each individual tiny, but collectively capable of stabilizing food webs over vast spatial scales. How spiders detect and process prey is a masterclass in sensory economy. Many species rely primarily on vibration sensing rather than long-distance visual tracking. A web transmits oscillations from struggling prey, and the spider interprets waveform characteristics to estimate location and urgency. Even non-web hunters use substrate vibrations and air movement cues to detect nearby motion. Yet in active visual hunters, especially jumping spiders, vision becomes highly refined. These spiders can judge distance, track movement, and plan attack routes with surprising sophistication. Research on certain genera suggests flexible tactics. Individuals can choose among approaches and modify behavior when initial plans fail. That does not mean spiders think like humans, but it does challenge the idea that arthropod behavior is rigidly pre-programmed. In practice, successful predation requires integrating multiple streams of information under time pressure: signal strength, direction, obstacle layout, energy reserves, and risk from predators. Spiders solve these problems with compact nervous systems and highly tuned sensoromotor loops. In engineered terms, they achieve efficient decision quality with low computational overhead. Evolution rewarded this efficiency because hesitation can mean starvation, and reckless attack can mean injury. Every successful strike reflects not brute force, but rapid interpretation of noisy sensory data and decisive movement execution. Feeding biology reveals another unusual adaptation. Spiders generally cannot chew solid chunks the way many insects or crustaceans can. Their digestive strategy is largely external pre-processing followed by liquid intake. After subduing prey, they use enzymes to begin breaking tissues down, turning complex biological material into ingestible fluid. They then take up this liquefied nutrition through a digestive system suited for fluids, not bulky solids. Mouthparts and associated structures can help macerate material at the interface, but the core principle remains: pre-digest outside, consume inside. This approach offers advantages. It allows spiders to extract nutrients efficiently from prey with hard exoskeletons while minimizing mechanical requirements for internal grinding. It also helps explain why venom and immobilization are so central. Prey needs to be controlled and biochemically accessible. Seen this way, spider predation is not a single action but a sequence: detect, capture, neutralize, process, consume. Each stage is specialized, and weak performance in any stage lowers overall success. This staged feeding pipeline is one reason spiders can exploit a broad prey range despite small body size. Their biology is less about brute ingestion and more about chemical engineering at miniature scale. Reproduction introduces a different set of pressures, especially because females are often larger and potentially dangerous to approaching males. Males must signal identity clearly to avoid being mistaken for prey. That need drives complex courtship displays involving vibration patterns, body movements, and cautious positioning. In many species, mating opportunities are limited, and males face high mortality due to short lifespans, predation, and reproductive risks. Females, in contrast, often invest heavily in egg production and protective behaviors. Many create silk egg sacs that can contain hundreds of eggs, then guard, carry, or otherwise protect offspring during vulnerable stages. This maternal investment can significantly increase juvenile survival. Spider life histories vary widely. Many species live only around 1 to 2 years, while some mygalomorphs, including certain tarantulas, can live decades under suitable conditions. That variation reflects different ecological strategies. Short-lived species may prioritize rapid reproduction in unstable environments, while longer-lived species can spread reproductive effort across time. Understanding spider reproduction helps correct a common misconception: spiders are not only solitary predators with simple instincts. They are also parents, signalers, and risk managers balancing survival against the urgency to reproduce before opportunity closes. Although solitude is common, sociality does exist in spiders, and it appears along a spectrum rather than as an all-or-nothing trait. Some species tolerate neighbors under constrained conditions. Others build communal webs and coordinate to varying degrees, sometimes in groups from a few individuals to vast colonies numbering in the thousands. In more cooperative systems, spiders may share web maintenance effort, participate in collective prey capture, and distribute food within the group. Social living can increase capture efficiency for large prey and reduce individual construction cost, but it also brings disease risk, competition, and conflict over reproduction. That is why sociality remains relatively rare compared with solitary lifestyles. the ecological conditions have to favor cooperation strongly enough to offset those costs. Still, social spiders are important because they show that even within a lineage famous for independent hunters, natural selection can repeatedly explore collaborative arrangements. Their existence broadens our view of spider behavior beyond fear narratives and isolated webs. It also raises deeper biological questions. What environmental pressures repeatedly push solitary predators toward group living, and what keeps most lineages from crossing that threshold permanently? Social spiders do not overturn spider identity, but they reveal its behavioral range. Humans usually engage with spiders through emotion first, especially fear. Arachnophobia is common and can be intense, often disconnected from realistic risk. In truth, only a small minority of spider species pose serious medical danger to humans. Most are either harmless or reluctant to bite, preferring escape over confrontation. At the same time, dismissing all concern would be inaccurate. Medically significant species do exist in some regions, and basic caution is sensible. The broader point is proportionality. If we focus only on rare dangerous encounters, we miss the far larger reality that spiders provide continuous ecological service by suppressing insect populations, including pests that affect agriculture and quality of life. Cultural symbolism reflects this tension. Spiders appear in myths and art as figures of patience, cruelty, creativity, fate, and craftsmanship. Those conflicting images mirror our mixed reactions to creatures that are both delicate and lethal, hidden and ubiquitous. A mature perspective does not require loving spiders or handling them casually. It requires seeing them clearly, as ancient predators with limited direct threat to humans, high ecological value, and extraordinary biological design deserving respect even when they trigger discomfort. The future of spider science is less about curiosity alone and more about practical translation. Venom compounds are being studied for potential medical use because they can target biological pathways with high specificity. Some molecules may inform pain management, neurological research, or novel therapeutics, though converting toxins into safe medicine is complex and slow. Spider venom is also being explored for more selective pest control approaches that could reduce reliance on broad-spectrum chemical pesticides. Silk research is equally promising. Scientists are investigating how to reproduce spider silk-like materials at scale, including transferring relevant genes into other organisms as potential production platforms. The challenge is not just making protein but replicating the precise spinning and processing conditions that create silk's remarkable performance. If those hurdles are solved, applications could span lightweight composites, medical sutures, tissue scaffolds, and advanced textiles. So the same animals that once symbolized danger may contribute to cleaner agriculture, smarter materials, and new biomedical tools. That arc captures the central message of this story. Spiders are not side characters in nature. They are long-evolved systems of chemistry, mechanics, and behavior, and the more closely we study them, the more useful and astonishing they become. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.